I'm glad we did have that comfort break, though, because there's been developing reports. Now, this first article is a little bit older, but just bear with us, because, oh dear, this could be good, Jack. We don't know, but it could be. Right. Exclusive from the Star. Scramble expected as Sheffield Wednesday are now on the market. The Star understands that a scramble to try and buy Sheffield Wednesday is now on the cards. Wednesday are going through a torrid time at the moment, with players and staff currently unpaid and charges having been laid against them by the English Football League. The Owls are under embargo and subject to a 3-window fee restriction due to defaulted payments, and pressure is mounting on the owner, Dos Chansiri, to sell up. It was reported recently by BBC Radio Sheffield that the club were now directing potential buyers to a professional team with a proven track record of selling football clubs. Something which this publication also believes to be true. One figure in particular, who is believed to be involved, has helped get deals over the line for both clubs in both the Premier League and EFL. With that in mind, the Star is of the understanding that several potential suitors are beginning to come forward, with talks of interest from the UK, America, and most recently a Monaco-based party. It's likely that Chansiri will have options if, as expected, he has decided the time has come to hand over the control of the Owls, if the, quote, right people come forward. Wednesday are at a breaking point in many ways, considering the triple embargo that they are under and the ongoing financial debacle that plagues the club. A sale to somebody who isn't able to put right many of the fixable struggles would be incredibly welcomed by the fan base. John Textor, an American billionaire, is one man believed to have shown an interest in the Owls, while another party from the USA is also thought to be keen on the club. An increase in potential suitors could be good for Chansiri too, who may be able to push the sale price up from what will have been a relatively low starting point, considering the current status quo. Status quo. I'm not American. Wednesday are less than a week away from a number of players having served the 15-day notice that they handed in on the back of 2 months unpaid late wages. And while the process after that date remains to be seen, it doesn't bode well for the club as things stand. How long it would take for a takeover to go through should it be agreed is uncertain, but given the dire straits that the club find themselves in, it may be that the EFL is able to expedite the process in order to help the club move forward. Now, John Textor was on TalkSport. This, again, we've got a couple more things to talk about. I'm going to tie in the Textor thing here because Textor was mentioned in that article. He said on TalkSport, I think Sheffield Wednesday, to me, is an example of what's wrong with English football because they should still have a chance at winning a championship every year, and they don't. So when people talk about Manchester City having this historic win, they're not really historic when they have that kind of advantage. So I'd love to see the rules allow Sheffield Wednesday to win the Premier League again. I don't know if that day will ever happen. I think if Sheffield Wednesday finds an investor that has a lot of capital, and he should be able to use that capital to climb up the table, because everyone has the ability to write a cognate business plan and sell their community to a club and an investor. They are literally going to be there are literally going to be 4 or 5 big teams forever, and that's always going to be the case. End quote. So Textor basically there bringing Sheffield Wednesday up, but I would say that's mainly talking about PSR. But you saw sort of the look on Simon Jordan's face, etc.
The grin.
There is still interest from Textor there. There is that.
Yeah.
Now, this is the interesting thing. Literally, while we were having a comfort break for the heat on this podcast, yes, Alan Biggs tweets, hearing from one good source that Sheffield Wednesday takeover is in agreement with one party very close. Keyword is, quote, agreement. Would be a long way to go from there in terms of due diligence, EFL checks, etc. Agreement from Chansiri, Jack.
This is the historical thing. Sod Manchester City's historical win. Chansiri actually agreeing to a goddamn deal is the historic thing. Jesus.
I mean, I think it's probably the people he's put in place and he's gone. But
even so,
this could.
My God.
I know. What are your thoughts on that big talk I've just done?
Well, I actually, Textor makes a lot of sense there in that he's correct in everything he's said. Personally, because of all of the stuff going on in the news with Textor, he's not my preferred bidder. If he is even a bidder at all, he's been very coy about that.
I think he speaks well, though, but yeah, fair enough.
He would not be my preferred party to take over, but he does seem to have the financial backing to be able to do so, and he's got a lot of backing through other people that have been owners in the past, and all that sort of stuff, that he would be a better owner than Chansiri. But then again, I think a Cowpats would be a better owner than Chansiri, given his track record. Anyway, I'm not. It's exciting, but I want to see something concrete. I don't like the an agreement may be in place, and it's like, it could be there, it could be not. It's not on paper yet. Like, I don't like that. I want concrete. It's the trauma response. It's like, expect disappointment, and then you'll never be disappointed. So that's where I'm at the minute. I want the concrete confirmation, because we always know what it's like with DC and talks for selling players or selling whatever. It's always agreed until the pen's about to go to paper, and then he goes, actually, I want this one more thing, or I want that to be a bit less that I'm spending, or whatever. So
I think the difference is here, he's never agreed to a sale.
Yeah.
And if this is true, this is the first agreement we've got on whether or not they pass the due diligence texts, etc. There's been an agreement.
Yeah.
Which means that Wednesday are one step closer to getting rid of this ownership and getting out of this mess, Jack, which we need. We're literally, I'm at a point now where I don't even care which one of them it is.
Yeah.
That's been reported in all of that talk we've just done. Like, if it's somebody that has to now get through a more rigorous, and let's be honest, they do have to go through a more rigorous process with the EFL. If they get through that, then we are probably, even if they aren't the best owners in the world, they should be better than Chancery, because Chancery wouldn't pass the test anymore.
No, definitely not.
And this signals to me that even this one doesn't go through, right? It's moving. It's moving. We see the Gassama block being put on. We see, which would make more sense that on the same day that this news comes out, a potential move for Gassama that's had a medical and everything gets blocked, right? That's a new owner going, hang on, we've agreed on this. No. Do not do that. We want to come in and make that decision ourselves, because we've still got just under 2 months of a transfer window left. Let us make these decisions ourselves.
Yeah.
And oh my God, Jack, I might actually be getting optimistic and positive. I know this probably won't go through because it's Chancery, but I feel a little bit of optimism from this for the first time in a long time. Can you feel it?
Yeah. I'm still of that. I'm still in that trauma response of like, I can't get excited, because if I get excited, it won't happen. Do you know what I mean? That's true. That's
true.
That's how I feel. I'm not trying to knock anybody that doesn't feel that way and is excited, but that's my personal, like, how cautious I am about everything anyway. You know. But I really want it to be true. I really want... And also, the way... I find it funny how it's always phrased, because, like, they always phrase it as though it's going to take months and months and months and months to do all the due diligence, when it'll probably take, like, 1 to 2 weeks. So, if it is all agreed, it can move very, very quickly. Or...
I think the position we're in with the EFL anyway, the EFL are working with Wednesday quite closely, so I reckon...
It would get done in a quick manner-ish.
They've now got a responsibility to make sure players are paid, staff are paid. So I think we'd be quite high on the priority list of making these checks happen.
Yeah.
I think I do obviously don't want any exceptions to be made. I want the checks to be done properly. And if these guys don't pass the fit and proper owner test, then they shouldn't be
take over,
in ownership. Yeah. But if they do, then I reckon the EFL can help us speed this up, because the position they're in now, it's like they could be... Can you imagine the stick they would get if they dragged their heels with this and Wednesday had players just leave because of the break of contract, when there was an option there? There was an option there for people to come in and keep these players, keep things running. We've got, I guess the benefit is, I don't know, it's still a fine line though, because if this doesn't happen now, I think this has to happen, Jack, because otherwise Chancery's got to find the money.
Yep, and he won't be able to do that. I don't think he'll be able to do that personally, but
he's only got a few days left, I think, to do it. So this is why this has to happen.
And also bearing in mind, when the new ownership comes in, we won't be fully out of the embargo sort of status. We will have, at worst, we'll stay in the big main embargoes and all the rest of it. But at best, will, you know, when Derby got taken over and they got put on that business plan where they were only allowed to spend X amount on players and X amount on wages and all that sort of stuff, will be in probably one of those for a season or two before.
Which is better than having no club
okay,
left.
fine, great, there you go, have at it. Which I understand, and I think that's more than reasonable, personally, after the last 10 years of mismanagement. I'm happy with that.
I think that is... My hope for this, Jack, is whichever party it is, and there's lots of parties floating about, that they have proper football people in.
Yes.
And it's done properly, and it's done right from the off. Look, I'm expecting it to be a struggle either way this season. They're going to have the hand start. They might not be able to make any sort of like anything but freeze and free or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And if they have to work in that market, I don't expect Wednesday to be turned around immediately. But what I would like to see is progress. And the indication here is we might have progress, Jack, for the first time.
And if they can't immediately go ham on the player front, then I want to see them going ham on facilities. Okay, great. You have to dip into the free agent market. Great. We'll spend a load of money on a training ground or on stadium improvements, not just repairs, like, you know, that sort of stuff.
Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point, Jack. That's a really, really good point. There we go. I've just praised you immediately because you could do that, actually. If your hands are tied in a way that you can't spend on players, which, again, let's be honest, they can be assets, but they can also be depreciating assets.
Yeah.
You spend the money that you want, not all of it, but you can put a significant amount into the facilities and upgrade Wednesday and do what Chansiri should have done when he came in. Put the money into the facilities. And then we become a more of attractive... Actually, I quite like that, Jack. Stop it. This is too positive. We don't have positivity in Wednesday anymore. We probably won't.
If new owners want to come in and immediately make a good impression, you don't just go for let's splash the cash on like bloody these massive name signings. You go, okay, you wanted a better training complex. Here's a friggin' state-of-the-art whatever it is. There you go. Here we're now making the academy grade 1. Oh, look, we've got all of these staff that we've just hired to make the academy training better. All of that sort of stuff, you know? Oh, look. Do you remember those blueprints for the World Cup upgrades to Hillsborough? Look at what we're implementing. It's those plans or, you know, some other new drawn-up thing. Like, if you... from the
Alan
get-go.
Biggs has followed up with... he doesn't know... So it could be Textor, but he's followed up with a tweet saying, don't know which one, but I've heard that Tillman for Tish... I don't want to say how that's spelled. Ferrit. USA businessman, sports entrepreneur, and media personality mentioned as one of the contenders. So in the sports world there, because there is rumors that there's 2 USA things. I think the Shaw one's gone quiet, and I don't think that's going to happen, which is potentially a good thing if they didn't put the money where the mouth was. And then there's this Monaco-based party. But I'm not opposed to having... I think Textor's not as bad as some people make out, and I know people disagree with me on that, but I think he's better than Chansiri. He's got the right people in place. So whether who it be, I don't care who it is in this regard. If they pass the fit and proper persons test, it gets us out of the Chansiri clutches. If it happens in the next couple of days, it stops Wednesday falling further and losing players. I can only see this as a positive, Jack. An agreement has been made. There's a lot to now talk out and sort out, I guess. But it's positive for once.